Welcome back to Low Stress Math with Mrs. Bono. We are on Chapter 4, Solving Systems of Equations. Lesson 3, more work with graphing systems of equations. So let's get started. Directions. Step 1, make sure both equations are solved for y. In other words, slope-intercept form. Now, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the intercept. So that's what we're looking for. Now this one is already y equals mx plus b. Even though it's a minus, it's plus a negative. So that's fine. This is the problem. So let's make it a little bit bigger so you can see better. And we will change this so that it's in the correct form. So let's do some algebra or math magic. My goal is to get the y alone. She does not want to have that coefficient. Now, a coefficient means multiply. That is 2 times y. So we want to do the inverse of that to get rid of it. And the opposite of times is divide. So we're going to divide by 2. And if I do it to 1, I have to do it to all. That's just how algebra works. It's a very fair sort of math. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. So now I have 1y here by itself. Now this negative x is actually negative 1x. And I'm going to keep the divide by 2. So now my slope is negative 1 over 2. Plus 8 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'm adding 4. Now I'm in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus the b is 4. Okay. And remember, in order to graph something, you always start at the back with the b. So I'm going to graph this one. And here is my b, negative 6. And I want to be able to see the graph at the same time, so a little bit bigger, right there. This is the y-axis. So I am graphing the y-intercept on the y-axis. So if that's the y, this must be x. It says go down to negative 6. So down here to negative 6. So begin with negative 6. And then to get some more points, I need 2 over 1. That's going to be 2 up, 1 to the right. Because both of those are positive numbers. So from this spot, I go 2 up, 1 to the right, all the way across. 2 up, 1 right, 2 up, 1 right, 1 right. Now I want to go all the way to the end of the graph. And I actually want my line to go a little below the graph and a little above the graph, because I don't know where the second line is going to intersect, or even if it's going to intersect, but I want to know where it's going to intersect. And if I don't have the whole line there, I might miss it. So the next one, I'm going to begin at the back, and my b is now positive 4. So b is 4, and my slope m is negative 1 over 2. That means down, because it's negative, and 2 to the right. So starting at 4, I have to go down 1, 2 to the right. Down 1, 2 to the right. Well, I found my intersecting point, but I'm still going to make sure I go all the way across the graph. Just make me happy. Just make the old lady happy. Here we go. And all the way across the graph. And I have a point of intersection. Where they intersect is the solution, remember? So they intersect at 4, 2. So here's my solution, 4, 2. Now before I go on to the next step, I'm going to check everything, because you never know. So I have my solution, I have both lines, I don't have equations on my lines. I would lose a point for that. I do not wish to lose points. So let's go back and put the equations on the lines. Original equations. So this first equation was 2x minus 6, which is this one, so I'm going to write it down here. Y equals 2x minus 6. And this original equation was 2y equals negative x plus 8. Make sure I label with their, it says it right here. Identify the y-intercept and the slope. Label both equations with their respective, label both, it shouldn't say equations. It should say both graphs with their respective equations. So, what's my solution? For 2. Number of solutions, 1. Now, I'm back with my original 2 equations, and I'm going to check my solution. The solution I'm checking is 4, 2, where x equals 4 and y equals 2, because in the set of ordered pairs, it's always x, y. So x is 4, y is 2. Those are the numbers I'm going to put into my equation. So underneath the y, I put a 2 equals 2, and my x is 4. So times 4 minus 6. I just realized I changed pen colors in the middle. I apologize. So what do I have here? Nothing happens to the 2. The equals 2 times 4 is 8 minus 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. 2 equals 2. This is a solution to this equation. I can't stop now. I have to make sure it's also a solution to the other equation. You have to make sure that your answer works in both equations. So this would be 2 times 2 equals negative 4 plus 8. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative 4 plus 8 is 4. And it checks. It works. Those. Now look, this is 2, 2, and this is 4 equals 4. They're not the same number, and they don't have to be. It just has to be equal on both sides of the equation. So this one checks. And what does that mean? The point 4, 2 is a solution to both equations. All right, now let's do some more work. Work. All right. Now remember, first things first. Stop the video and try the checkpoint. You try this problem. You can do it. Okay, welcome back. I have high hope. So this one is already in y equals mx plus b form. And what do I have for m? M? So actually start at the back with the b. You know what? Highlight things, Bono. Highlight. Here we go. And down the y. And I begin at b. And then to get more points, I just have negative x. What does that mean? That means negative 1 over 1. So I'm going to go down and right. So I'm going to begin at 1 and go down 1, right 1. So starting here at 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. All the way across. Remember, you want to cover the whole grid because you don't know where the other line is going to cross. So make sure you have it going all the way across the entire grid. Here we go. Arrows on both sides. And let's write the equation while I'm thinking about it. Y equals negative x plus 1. Now this one I have a problem with. What's the problem, old woman? It's not y equals mx plus b form. Now the y doesn't have a coefficient, but I have this negative 3x in front of it. So what I need to do is add 3x to both sides. Now I can't combine 5 and 3x. one of them has a coefficient, one of them has a variable and the other doesn't. So they are not like terms. You cannot combine like terms. This is going to cross out. Bring down the y equals, just write them next to each other. 3x plus 5. That's it. That's the right, sorry, that's in the right form. This is y equals mx plus b. I'm going to begin at the back with the b. So here I begin with that 5. And then 3 is my slope. Oh dear. Look. B equals 5. M equals 3 over 1. 3 up, 1 right. But I can't go 3 up from here. So I have to do the inverse of both. The opposite of up is down. 1, 2, 3. The opposite of right is left. Up, already got a spot. 3 down, 1 left. So down and to the left actually is the same as up and to the right. See, it's the same as 3 up, 1 to the right. So that's good. And play connect the points. Little arrows on both sides. Label the original equation, negative 3x plus y equals 5. And let's just do this. We got to check them now. So what's our solution? Right here at negative 1, positive 2. So my solution is negative 1, positive 2. The x is negative 1, the y is positive 2. So I'm going to come back up here into this equation, and I'm going to write 2 equals negative, and now negative 1. That has 2 negative signs. What do 2 negative signs mean? Negative, negative is a positive. So this is actually 2 equals 1 plus 1. 2 equals 2. That one checks. Okay, now I have to do the other one. I give myself a little space here. Negative 3x plus y equals 5. Always go back to the original equation for the check. So negative 3 times negative 1 plus 2 equals 5. Make sure it's the x replacing the x, the y replacing the y. Negative times negative is positive 3, plus 2 equals 5. 5 equals 5. Yay, that one checks also. Remember, check means that this both equal at the end, not that they equal the other one, that they're equal to each of the same side, that they're equal to the opposite side of the equal sign. Wow, that was a lot going on. All right, here we go. Julio and Rich are having a race to see who could run faster. The equations below represent how fast Julio and Rich can run. Okay. Julio is running at 3 yards per second. That's what that means. Y on top, X on bottom, yards per second. Okay. And Rich is a big mess. So let's fix Rich first before we go on. Here we go. Negative 5x plus 4y equals 20. First things first, let's move the 5x to the opposite side. And we get 4y equals, remember you can't combine unlike terms, 5x plus 20. Now I have to divide everybody by 4. It's because I want the y alone. Y equals 5 over 4x plus 5. Oh, that's not horrible. So, here's my y-intercept, and here's my y all the way on the side. This is only positive numbers. So we're going to start at 5, and we're going to go up 5, 4 to the right. 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 I gotta put my glasses on for this. It's too hard to see. These little tiny dots are too hard for me. Here we go. And this is going to be right there, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay, there we go. Up 5, 4 to the right. Up 5, 4 to the right. I just want to see something. If I started here and counted just big boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, darn it, big boxes would. Ugh. Well, it's better to do it the right way. Just keep telling yourself that, Bono. And here we go. I'm going to write the original equation here for Rich. Negative 5x plus 4y equals 20. Now this one does not have a y-intercept, so I'm going to use 0 plus 0. So I start at 0, and I'm going to go up 3, 2 to the right. Now, I'm just going to cheat. Up 3, 1, 2 to the right. Up 3, 2 to the right. Here we go. It worked. And just get that on there. Put an arrow. Write Julio. Y equals 3 over 2x. And now the solution is 20 seconds, 30 yards. So they are at the same place at 20 seconds, 30 yards. Write that down, Bono. 20 seconds and 30 yards. Okay. At what point will Julio and Rich be at the same distance? At 20 seconds, they will both be at 30 yards. Actually, that's probably the distance where Julio passes Rich, because Rich kind of started out ahead. All right, so let's take a look up. Independent practice, next page, 102. You've got this. Remember, first change everything into y equals mx plus b, and then graph it to find the answer. Check your solutions. Take care. Bye.